War dogs, The Dark Knight, scene by scene, using cereal boxes for props and yoga mats as riot shields. Their home was soundproof, dark, and filled with hand-built movie sets. One day, one brother stepped outside, then another. Eventually, the truth spilled into the world in a documentary that chilled Sundance. The story wasn't just about movie obsession, it was about control, fear, and the fragile line between imagination and imprisonment. No one's sure if the father ever regretted it, but his sons? They stepped out into a world they'd only seen through a grainy screen, and they weren't acting anymore. Number 8, Sayan Mountains Settler. In the remote taiga of Siberia, a helicopter crew stumbled upon something that looked impossible. A family living 150 miles from civilization, invisible for over 40 years. They were old believers who fled persecution in the 1930s and settled in the Sayan Mountains. They boiled scant roots over embers. No school, no news. They didn't even know World War II ended. Their discovery was cinematic. The Vice documentary, Surviving in the Siberian Wilderness for 70 Years, captured their weathered hut, ancient prayers, and their strange speech, described as blurred cooing, shaped by decades of solitude. This wasn't meditation or chosen exile. It was survival tethered to extreme faith and the eerie dignity of fading heritage. Number 7. The Indian Snake Family. You'd think the idea of a family living with poisonous snakes would raise red flags, but in a tucked-away Indian village, that's just daily life. This family doesn't just worship cobras, they sleep next to them. The kids grew up treating venomous serpents like siblings. No cages, no panic, just a ritual. Ash-covered elders chant mantras as snakes slither over children's laps. To outsiders, it looks like a nightmare. But to them, it's sacred. They believe the snakes are divine protectors, reincarnated ancestors who must never be harmed or feared. There are no anti-venoms on site, no animal control. And yet, they've had almost zero fatalities. But here's the catch. Documentaries show these children handling cobras with the same ease you'd pet a puppy. That kind of comfort, it doesn't come without consequences. One wrong hiss, one twitch too fast, and faith could become fatal. But still, they trust the snakes more than strangers. Would you ever trust your ex? We just know. Talking about snakes reminded you of them, didn't it? Number 6. The Pink-Eyed Siblings. In a Texas hospital, one mother looked at her newborn and thought, "They switched my baby." 2 children, same parents, same genetic line, emerged with stark white skin, platinum hair, and light-sensitive pink eyes. Before the diagnosis sank in, she was sure they belonged to someone else. That's what sets this case apart. 2 biological kids born with complete albinism, yet neither parent shows any trace. The family became a reluctant headline. Viewers couldn't look away because no one can order nature to color inside the lines. It knows boundless creativity and sometimes loves to experiment. Number 5. The Gomez-Aceves clan. Most kids dream of the circus. This family never left it. For generations, the Gomez-Aceves clan has been part of an old-school traveling circus. But they aren't jugglers or clowns. They're known for something rarer, hypertrichosis, the so-called werewolf syndrome. Thick hair covers their faces, arms, and backs. Entire generations of the family live with it. Once, they were carnival acts, the hairiest family alive. Number 4. The Ulas family. On the outskirts of a Turkish village, a family walks not on 2 legs, but 4. The Ulas family suffers from a rare genetic mutation called Unner-Tan syndrome, which causes quadrupedalism. Yes, they walk like animals. Hands flat on the ground, backs arched, feet behind. It's not a choice. Their balance is so impaired, it's the only way they can move. When footage of them leaked, scientists were stunned and divided. Were they proof of human de-evolution, or just victims of extreme poverty and inbreeding? Documentaries followed. Some called it a tragedy. Others saw it as a raw biological mystery. But what's certain is this. The Ulas family lives on the fringe of human experience. Mocked by neighbors, poked by researchers, and yet they keep walking, 4 limbs forward, heads high. There's something admirable in their resilience. They choose to move on. Number 3. The tribe of Ziona Chana. When Ziona Chana died in 2021, he left behind 39 wives, 94 children, and 33 grandchildren, most of whom lived under one roof. That's over 180 people in a single house. a massive pink structure with over 100 rooms in India's Mizoram state. Chana was the leader of a polygamous Christian sect called Chana Powell, where marrying multiple women was considered holy. But this wasn't just a cult of marriage. It was a logistical miracle. The house functioned like a commune, rotating kitchen teams, school hours, sleeping shifts. Children were homeschooled in religious doctrine. Wives had rank. New wives were introduced ceremoniously. The family attracted global attention, and rightly so. It was like a living village. But step inside, and you'd feel the strain. Competition, isolation, identity loss. One daughter once whispered, "You forget who you are here." That's what makes it chilling. Not the size, but the slow erasure of self in the name of love and order. Number 2, the Radfords. In a quiet seaside town in Britain, one family lives like an assembly line that never stops. The Radfords aren't just Britain's most prominent family. They're a full-blown operation. Sue and Noel have 22 biological children. No multiples, no adoptions. Just one baby after another, for decades. Their 10-bedroom house feels more like a logistics hub than a home, with whiteboards of meal plans, mountains of laundry, and a weekly grocery bill that rivals rent. But what's truly eerie? The calm. No chaos, no screaming matches, just chore charts and perfectly timed bath schedules. They've turned parenting into a televised routine, starring in a reality show called 22 Kids and Counting. And sure, they smile for the cameras, but off-screen, you wonder how much of that piece is performance. When your childhood is part of a brand, when you're one of 22, does anyone really know who you are? Or are you just another name on the list? Number 1, the Allen family. Now we come to a family that doesn't just break rules, they erase them entirely. In the seaside city of Brighton, England, there's a family that raised eyebrows and headlines by letting their kids live with virtually no rules. Adele and Matt Allen call it unconventional parenting. Their children have no fixed bedtime, no formal schooling, and no screen limits. At age 5, their son could breastfeed at will. At age 8, he could decide whether to attend class or stay home and garden. The parents claim it fosters freedom and emotional intelligence. Critics call it chaos disguised as parenting. The family's story went viral after they appeared on talk shows, calmly defending their lifestyle as natural living. But something about it feels off. Watching toddlers eat raw garlic and skip immunizations doesn't exactly scream safety. What unsettles people isn't just the lack of structure, it's the eerie calm with which the parents insist it works. Maybe it does. Or maybe, one day, those kids will crave the rules they never had. But for now, they are the dream parents for rebellious children who don't want to go to school or be instructed on what to do. If you are that teenager, heads up, the rules are good. You'll understand what we mean when you grow up and actually do something meaningful rather than lying around and scrolling on YouTube all day. Families are strange mirrors. They reflect who we are before we know ourselves. Some of us are born into chaos, others into calm. But even in the most unsettling stories, there's resilience. Identity, choice. That's the gift. Learning to grow in the soil we didn't choose. If you've got a family that lets you be yourself, you're luckier than you think.